Hey guys, this is the man on the street. See behind me here? It's an animal clinic, right? And for untouched purposes, this is not our medical field, but these are for care for our animals. And I'm going to show you how they fail me here too, my friends. This clinic here at one time, when you bring your dog, they want them to help. But ne kadar namussuzlar böyle yaptılar başımı. Sorry, that's a little bit Turkish. Don't hold against me because there's other second, third, fourth languages that people are talking about, and we're talking about francophones and how that could change in the federal writings that could people propel as a second language of Canada. But what happened here? I'll tell you in a quick synopsis. At this time, it wasn't Zoe, my terrier, but it was my other dog previous to that. Now that's going back almost 12 years. Why is it relevant? Well, it is. Okay, at that time, my dog had a catastrophic injury too, right? And what ended up happening was I had to bring it here. Now, on hindsight, I know everything. Would you be the shaitan herself would drive that dog to get it repaired before and after what the injuries were, right? So at this time, they said, that my dog had a catastrophic diarrhea. It was all over. And I attribute it to Shaitan, right? And they know who that is. She came in here. Remember, they can disguise as your brother, your sister, your mother, even your father. Even the prime minister could be disguised as that. We know the devil's cloak is all tell-telling. So I went up here, and at this time, my dog was incontinence. That's like every time. She would moan every 10 to 20 minutes. And I would go compassionate, go, what's wrong, Friday? Right? Are you okay? And she would wake up, and then, of course, I would take her outside, wait in the elevator, and I would worry if she would defecate in my apartment or let alone in the building. And it was so damaging to my psyche. These people who said they care for me, they were actually aiding and abetting it. Now, I'm not going to get mad at that because, that dog had to rest in peace, and I brought it to the Humane Society to bring him down after what they couldn't treat, which was treatable, end up becoming much more catastrophe. Okay, previous to that, it was around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and Shaitan herself was that cooked the turkey, right? So we ate it, and at that time, she would always come, please don't feed the food. But this time, she's trying to feed it and put coins in her body, right? Now, hindsight, they know it's true because I've witnessed it, and I proved it, and I went to the court, a college court, even Michael Block, the residing judge, he knew that. But apparently there was not enough evidence, let alone assault and everything else, and they used hearsay testimony to obstruct justice. So I brought it here, I said I'm concerned about my dog, like anyone else. So they gave it a regimen, they did it, this time, I was very ill health too. And he had a dog in there, and the dog was 18 or 19, right? And I'm trying to be good because I know I have to pay money to take care of it. This time also they're kicking Friday in the shins. So people see it bandaged, right? And the poor Hyvan, I would have it, but she would gnaw on it. So I would look that up because the pain is so tremendous, right? They would gnaw it to the bone and open up sores. I said, oh my God. So I came in here, they knew everything is on file. So this time I thought, it's harder money. They don't charge easily. You can ask my friends and where I live who can't afford it, right? And it's cost a pretty dime. So this is how I know even our healthcare, even our animal care has deteriorated. So I went in there and explained, and they say, maybe antibiotics would do it. I said anything, I would. So I think it cost $70, $90. And I bought like a 1 week dose. And then it was like a last ditch effort, maybe the dog will get better. So I went in there, I went home. And then the first day, second day, and third day, I noticed her stool was normalized. You know what? I called progress. I told the staff on the second floor, everyone, the first floor, that my dog could be saved. Even though she was about 10, 11, the dog was living for 19 years. Even though it was pissing all over in the waiting room. And the custodian, he looked like Moby for a second. But nevertheless, we know what Eminem thinks of it. So we went in there and they treated it, and I went home and I told everyone, hey, the dog's better. I told Kevin, of all people, would you fucking believe that? And he goes, oh, Houston, we have a problem. Because you know what mother said, or Shaitan? She said, I'm going to cook you another fucking dinner. Pardon my French. So she said, sure. I said, Bismillah, and she gave, and then that's when the whole shit hit fan. Ay Allahum Ya Rabbi. The dog got worse, and I saw her that day when she was at the sink putting water in that food. The female looked at me, giving her that eye of the devil herself, my Lord. You know, I said, Jinnet getirsin Allahum Ya Rabbi. And this time, those people are progressed. They didn't get a fucking blink. Pardon my French. I was so enraged. Right, this time I was called to the 111 office in Wellesley, and they started making me sign paper after paper. These are the type of Trump playbooks, right? So I went in here, and you know what? They asked me, you could return the medication. At this time, the Zohal, I mean, Satan herself, Shaitan, drove me, and she, would you believe, paid some of that medication money? What would that say? So when they talked to Berna and Spike, and when Berna asked, you know, her dog that cost 25 grand to get better, and they would say, ay, yazı, Spike and Nolda, and I would talk to Berna, and they spent 25 grand to get that dog well. So even though when you had the operation, you know, several years later, she says she was crying. I go, why? It's simple surgery. She knew why. And that day, I got called in and he said, go pick up your fucking mother, and hung up on me at North York General. Right? And I'm supposed to pick her up to drive her home. But would you believe she was deceased, apparently, if not? So I went there. I had to call back the hospital just to make sure which wing she is in. Do I go, you know, like, you know, I didn't ask for the morgue section. So they must have moved her, and they left her, and I go, there she is. So I went to touch her. She was colder as like this rail. So I called her early. What's wrong with her? I thought she was conscious. What do you mean? There she is. So I thought, is she alive? What is this? She looked at me, kind of smiled. Right? I go, do you cook for a living? Because this smells funny. Fishy. Right? And then after, don't worry, I'm going to give her some shot. She's going to wake up. She must win. So this guy came in. You're an orderly, or do you work, what part of the department? He goes, don't worry. And he starts prodding her arm. I go, you a doctor? I go, you don't even know where your fucking vein is. Sorry, but you know. I'm thinking she's prodding her vein on her arm. Then a nurse came. All of a sudden, hi, how are you? I go, who are you? I don't recognize you, right? Maybe it was Dua, Miley Cyrus, maybe even the devil herself, her sister, Nihal, right? And next thing you know, she's conscious. He said, my son, my son, my son. At this time, you know, remember, I'm not articulating everything. Because at this time, Berna's dog, and they'll say, Zohala blah, don't feed the dog. So that's why when I know she goes to Makpalez, they take, and most recently, she would take her dog and run to her room, and she goes, that fucking bitch takes her dog and doesn't even talk to me and stays herself in her room. I go, what's that supposed to mean? Ödüm patladı, hemen anladım, böyle ama karıştırdı da. Anladınız mı? That's what led to Predis was Spike's dog, Berna, and Hopi. You see, my friend, this is all accumulated to most unappealing an event. You know, that's why I'll never own a dog. And that's why I know she did that after time. Even after I went the first time, the second time, it's catastrophic injuries. And then I said, but the kicker is to put that pain in, and then again, güldüler. She said, why don't you wait 2 more weeks? I go, I can't. Right? I can't. I got to put this dog down. She's wait. And she know what I was going through. Allahum Ya Rabbi. But God is good. As people are, they will know this is not acceptable and never will be. So one thing you affect people's conditioning of their dogs and pets, but it's another thing to put that in the people's lives. This is the man on the street signing out.